Hello and welcome back to Suspend Information. I'm your host, Dennis Bithoulkas, and this is another episode of Is It Worth My Time? This time around, it's Star Trek Picard. So, welcome everybody. I'm going to take care of a little bit of business first, then we'll get into it. If you like what you see here, like, share, and subscribe. If you're still on the fence about subscribing, you're going to see the very end of this video, a video pop up here. And basically, what YouTube does takes the algorithms of all the stuff you've been watching and tries to match it as best as possible. One of the videos, my fast video library, and pops it up there just for you. Up here is going to be what was it that I did? Now I'm just blanking on it all of a sudden. What is today? Today is Wednesday, Tuesday. Future Man. That's what's going to be up there. Future Man. Wow. Yeah, I'm forgetting what day it is now. That's pretty bad. So Future Man will be up there. If you want to know when I'm be on live again next, you can hit the bell down below. It's a 50-50 chance of YouTube actually notifying you. Best thing to do is go to suspendedfanimation.com. Take a look at my weekly schedule is up there for my live streams and also all the links to my social media. I have a Twitter, Instagram, and Patreon page, but no tiers set up as of yet. I also mirror that on my Facebook page, by the way, the schedule, and you can also join a Facebook group page that I have, and you guys can post stuff and talk amongst yourselves in that area. All right. Oh, you know what? Before I get to that part, I'm going to do this non-spoiler review of this. So the non-spoiler review. If you're a fan of Star Trek: The Next Generation and you're a fan of the J.J. Abrams, Kelvinverse, I guess you could say, of Star Trek, because these two kind of go hand in hand, then you might like this series. Oh, wow. I'm having a helicopter fly by overhead really, really low now. And deciding to drop off my dry goods, I think is what's going on. I'm getting an airdrop coming in. There we go. So yeah, if you are a fan of Star Trek: The Next Generation and J.J. Abrams' Star Trek, because it does tie in, like I say, directly to that, without giving any spoilers away, that you might like this. I don't know. So that's all I can say on that. It's really hard not to talk about this without getting into spoilers. So that's what I'm going to do. So, spoiler alert, I'm going to spoil the rest of it here. If you have not seen it, go and watch it if you dare. Otherwise, you can come on back and this will be a video. You can comment down below in the comment section. Thank you, Viking Bitch, for the paddle. So, yeah. Akiva Goldsman is one of the writers on this, and I can tell you exactly what episode he wrote, or episodes he wrote. It's the last 2 episodes, because I know he came in near the end. But you can always just tell from the writing. The writing's atrocious. Michael Chabon is the showrunner for this, and quite honestly, it's the most hackneyed piece of shit I've ever seen. Yeah, it's got. I mean, fucking A, man. It's supposed to be the 24th century. And you've got Vulcan Romulan hybrids that are wearing fucking Ray-Ban sunglasses. They're also wearing Apple AirPods. And this is the 24th century, mind you. And people are wearing this kind of shit. And I'm like, did you ever realize that you were doing sci-fi there, Mr. Chabon? Because obviously you don't know what the fuck you're doing, because you're bringing in modern day equipment into a 24th century world, which kind of really throws you right out of any kind of suspension of disbelief while you're watching any of this. So for some unknown reason, androids are being made in pairs, because that's how they have to be made. They never really explain why the androids need to be made in pairs, just they need to be made in pairs. And this is all thanks to Data. Actually, Data is supposedly had been the progenitor of all of this. And one of the twins, if you will, girls, goes to seek out Picard, and she ends up getting assassinated by a secret Romulan police squad, I guess you could say. And in terms of the Romulans, the reason why they always have low tech and everything like that is because they're afraid of technology. They're afraid of AI. And there's a reason for that. There's a a very weird reason for it. Anyway, Picard decides to set out and find her sister. He finds out that she has a sister. And oh, by the way, he also has some kind of rare brain disease that he's going to die from when he had the Borg implants and all that kind of stuff. So yeah, yeah, exactly. Bub's Revenge, the Expanse level writing. This obviously ain't. Um, it just honestly it boggles the mind some of the shit that's going on in here. The only thing I did like, honestly, was they bring in Seven of Nine as a ranger. I shit you not, they call it a ranger. You know, kind of like what was Babylon 5 had the Rangers. I don't know if you remember that. So yeah, Star Trek continues to steal a bit more from Babylon 5 as well. And she's out there protecting people that are near the Romulan border. So Romulus, I should say, met that fate that happened in J.J. Abrams' first Star Trek, where it exploded. And remember, Spock went back in time with the red crap to try and save it and all of that. So this happens in the Kelvin universe, is what I'm saying. This whole thing is in the Kelvin universe because Romulus is still destroyed. Picard tries saving the Romulans, and AI or robots are no longer allowed in Starfleet because on Federation Day, some AI went crazy and on Mars, the Mars shipyard base, and basically killed a shitload of people. Turns out it was actually the Romulans that did that. They fucked with some code in those robots and made them kill all those people. But that's the thing that Picard has to figure out. But anyway, like I said, the thing that was the best out of this was 709's Ranger going out and helping people, and also there's a Borg cube. Remember the Borg cube that got put to sleep back in the Star Trek Next Generation episodes? For some reason, the Romulans have it, and they are slowly trying to wake people up, trying to wake these Borg up, and also remove their Borg implants. There's also a black market for Borg implants, so people are actually kidnapping former Borgs that have been awakened and then stripping them of parts while they're alive, which is pretty nasty as well. So that was actually an interesting storyline, but there wasn't enough of it there to do anything with it. And they brought back Hugh. Remember Hugh the Borg? And that they brought back the actor too. He was the I guess you could say the coordinator of that whole thing of reawakening these people that had been former Borgs. And that was interesting. I mean, like I said, it was an interesting thing, but unfortunately we had the whole AI plot to deal with, and Picard dying and all that kind of stuff. And it turns out that Sung's son is actually behind all of this at one point, and he's not evil. He's just basically he's trying to build himself a body because he's getting ready to die himself. And you could see where this is all going. And basically, since Picard is sick, he's going to die. It's his last mission. They have a body that they can put him in. Yeah, that's what ends up happening. So Picard becomes a robot by the end, or I don't know, a life model decoy or something like that, where they transfer his consciousness. Honestly, it's not really described all that well. It's just basically here's what they do. Yeah, we got a robot consciousness. So yeah, it's a lot of half-baked ideas, which leads to a and then Picard has a confidant in all of this, Rafi, who he kind of fucked over when he was an admiral there, and she became an alcoholic, a drug addict, all that kind of stuff. And he gets her to help him, and at the end, she and Seven of Nine end up becoming partners. And literally, it's in the last episode, and they're holding hands. And you're like, "What the fuck? Where did this come from?" And I'm, "Oh wait, it was Akiva Goldsman. That's what's going on." So yeah, it's really, really shitty. It's as shitty as you've heard. And I'm just kind of glossing over the parts that didn't make me spasm into fits of epilepsy, quite honestly, while watching this shit. Um, I don't know why I put myself through it, to tell you the truth. Oh, I know why, because CBS All Access had a free month of viewing. And so I was like, okay, Picard can't be that bad. And I'm watching it and I go to the next episode. I'm like, no, it can't be this fucking bad. No, really? It's this fucking bad? Then I go, maybe the next episode. No, it really is that fucking bad. Then I'm like, well, maybe the next. And by the time I finished it, yeah, I took one for the team. Exactly. Bub's Revenge says absolutely. At least they get the original Q actor. I can't remember his name. He was on an episode of Stargate too. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Having Hugh come in, that was nice, although they did kill him off. And again, spoilers. As you can see, there's a spoiler alert right above my shoulder there. Yeah, they kill off some people, and I don't know. They could have killed off Riker and Troy, but I wouldn't have mind, because really, he's just directing episodes anyway of this, and well, he was directing episodes of the Orville until Seth MacFarlane, I guess, kicked him out, or he's only directing those episodes of the Orville now. The giant space flowers. I forgot the giant space flowers. Thanks, Keith Hamilton. So yeah, they go to the robot planet that Sung is on, and there's these giant space flowers that come out and grab ships to stop them. I shit you not, they're giant space orchids, is what they are. And the robots don't seem to know how they work, even though they're the ones that build them. I don't understand. That's what I don't understand. There's a lot of shit of this series that I don't understand why it's there. And well, no, I do, because it's basically they're like, hey, let's put this in. This sounds cool, but how does it work? I don't know. We're just going to have the characters go, well, I don't know how it works. It just does. I build the shit, but I don't know how it works. Yeah. It's a really dumb sci-fi. Let's just put it that way. Really dumb sci-fi. I don't even know if I can call it sci-fi. It's fiction is really what it is. It's yeah, I mean it has smuggling body parts, and then the less said about the captain of the ship that they have, the better. The poor wannabe Han Solo. Uh and I couldn't tell, because they didn't do it correctly at the beginning, if he was actually of Spanish, because he had a Latino accent at first, and then it was an Irish accent, and I didn't realize it was the hologram that was speaking that had an Irish accent. So all his different holograms that he has aboard the ship all have different accents. And so when he starts speaking again, I'm like, wait, did he just forget what character he was? And yeah, it's just bad. It's bad. Really, really bad. Um, God. I mean, at least Brent Spiner got to opt out of it. At the end there, he killed him. He killed Data off finally, and yeah. Bub's Revenge says the giant space orchids were a funny callback to the original series, written in a groovy baby 60s. Yeah. I don't even know if it was that, man. It didn't make any sense. It really did not make any sense. And yes, there was a lot of fucking ships at the end. You had a lot of Romulan ships come in, which I'm like, okay, if Romulus has been has been blown away, and they're needing help and everything, where the fuck did this fleet come from, and why doesn't Starfleet know about it? And then Starfleet shows up with their own group of all these ships, and it's like, wait, wasn't the Mars shipyard destroyed? So where did these ships come? I'm like, yeah, okay, whatever, man. So is it worth your time? Fuck no. It's not worth your time. It wasn't worth my time either. And that's where we're at. Yeah. There's just so many inconsistencies, and it falls down to bad writing. It's great that you get all these ideas and stuff like that as a writer, but if you can't back them up, why do them then? Or, yeah, you need to back up your ideas. So I'm watching right now, or I just finished watching, I should say, on Netflix, the series Hollywood. And it takes place in the 1940s Hollywood. And the scriptwriter, they say to the scriptwriter, okay, why is this character doing this? What is the motivation for this? And he says, because of this. And the producer's like, yeah, but you didn't show me this. All you're just telling me, you're telling me right now what this character's motivation is, but you haven't shown me this in the script. So I don't know what that motivation is, why that's there. And you could see this ding, this light go on in his eyes, and he goes, oh, yeah, I need to actually add that in. That's what's missing in this, is the motivation of why this shit's happening. Why are these androids made in twos? I don't know. They don't really explain it all that well. Why are Romulans really afraid of AI? Well, we got that part because of this ancient temple on some weird world where there's a left. Supposedly, this has all happened before, and the universe has been destroyed once before by AI that have whatever organic species that existed before Starfleet, before us, I should say, had created AI. The AI rose up, killed everybody, and then went off outside of the galaxy, and then left this little thing behind to other AI if they ever arose again. So it's that's the reason why they're afraid of it, because they get a portion of the message which was made for AI brains, which I'm like, okay, how do these AI people know what the AI is going to? It just doesn't make sense if you think things through. Bub's Revenge says, yeah, that's a hard no for me too. Unfortunately, it just didn't resonate for me. I had hoped for something much better after the long wait. Yeah, and it's not really Star Trek. It really is not. It doesn't feel like Star Trek. It doesn't really even look like Star Trek, to tell you the truth. And yeah, it has Star Trek characters in it, but they don't act like Star Trek characters because they swear and all that kind of stuff. Mork says, I'm sorry I'm late. Didn't like Picard. Yeah. No, it doesn't make any sense whatsoever. It really doesn't. It's bad sci-fi. It's bad writing. Why people keep giving Michael Chabon and Chabon, whatever, however you pronounce his fucking name, and Akiva Goldsman, why they keep giving them fucking writing assignments is beyond me. There's so many better writers out there than these two assholes. And yet they keep getting work. Yeah, Akiva Goldsman is the reason why the first season of Titans is shit. Complete and total shit. Second season is all on the second season showrunners. They got rid of Akiva Goldsman. They actually tried to right the wrongs of season one in the first couple episodes, and then like, fuck it, and left it alone as it was. When you really just could have gone back and said, the show is called Teen Titans or called Titans. You never have your group appear together and as Titans. They're always bickering and bullshit. I know I digress, but again, it's bad fucking writing. Bad fucking writing. Yeah. Ugh. And Marks does have a Titans poster. Morks did win that in the Titans contest. Keith Hamilton says, can't wait for Dennis' individual reviews of Star Trek Discovery. Nope, not doing it. I watched the first episode of Star Trek Discovery, and that was it, Keith Hamilton. Not watching the rest of that shit. I was laughing my ass off during that first episode. It was the best comedy of the year I saw. And after that, I don't need to watch any more of it. So, yeah. And besides that, the free trial subscription is over with. Yeah. I'm not about to pay for that. I just realized I let my free Hulu trial subscription lapse, and I ended up paying for a month. And I need to cancel that shit too. Even though I'm still doing Future Man reviews, but that's all written down. So that's easy enough. And I only have 3 more episodes. That's right. It's only 3 more episodes left of the season finale of Future Man. So, what else do I have going on this week? Tomorrow I'm off, which is probably good because I probably have food poisoning from the food I just ate earlier today. I'm not going to tell you. It just trust me. Friday is going to be Harley Quinn on DC Universe. Saturday is Saturday Morning Blast Off, where I take the genre news of the week, genre news of the week, and talk about it. Any other genre stuff you guys want to talk about. And Sunday, I don't have anything set up as of right now, but I don't know. I'm still going back and forth on that one. Monday is going to be Star Wars: The Clone Wars contest results. For those of you who haven't put in your, comment, more, so you could do this too. First prize, or actually I should say light side prize, is BB-8 socks. That's right, some BB-8 Star Wars socks. And the dark side prize is Kylo Ren's Happy Meal toy, because that's what he wants when he goes to McDonald's. He wants a Happy Meal toy. I did not go to Taco Bell, Morks. There was a local taqueria that shall not be named, and carne asada chips. That's all I can say, and fuck it. It's on the very last episode of Star Wars: The Clone Wars, Morks. That's where it's at. So if you go to Star Wars: The Clone Wars, because I have playlists that are up and all that kind of stuff, I actually group things according to, I actually do that, believe it or not. And you can comment in the last one that I just did, the season and series finale of Star Wars: The Clone Wars. And then, of course, Tuesday is going to be Future Man. That's right, Future Man, finishing that up. And then we'll see what happens on Wednesday. Kajal Bellman says, hey all, about Picard. It was so odd. I enjoyed some of the episodes a bunch, but the writing was all over the place. 1 minute the writing was not bad, and some points clever, but then the same scene, often it would feel like one sentence was written by a decent writer and the next by an angsty teenager. That's Akiva Goldsman, by the way, trying to impress people at a poem reading or something. Yeah, I shit you not, if you watch the first season of Titans, you can tell what the characters are going to say before the characters say it, because it's so ham-fistedly written that it's that bad. Yeah. Thanks, Pen. She put up the link to the Star Wars: The Clone Wars season finale. Yeah. And that whole thing, I mean, it took so long for them to fucking get into it too. It's just like, he's out on the farm or out in the vineyard or whatever, and he's got his 2 Romulan minders that are actually, secret police, former secret Romulan police. And I know they were trying to mirror the whole Cold War thing, but it didn't work because, today's audience doesn't know what the fuck the Cold War is. The younger audience, I should say, because that was in the 80s and 90s, and most of them are now, they were born in the 2000s, and they just don't give a shit about that, and they don't get that. It's just those old fucks who do, and then you fuck it up, and we're just like, wait, you messed it up. Yeah. Yeah, I agree with you, Mark. His servants were more interesting than half the cast. I mean, there was so much stuff that you could have cherry picked out of this and done a decent series on, rather than focusing on Picard. Picard was the worst character actually in this. I didn't care anything about him, and the way he fucking manipulated people and the way he used people, it really kind of just shit on the character, to tell you the truth, the way they wrote it. And it made you feel bad for all the people that were around him that had to deal with this asshole. And you're just like, wow, really? Yeah, basically just took a character that everyone loved and you kind of just shit on him. Kind of like Rian Johnson. And then, and then you put him in a robot body at the end. And then you say, oh, well, you have whatever kind of lifespan you would normally have had before. Yeah. I agree with you, Bubs. Revenge, yes. Picard did get the Luke treatment. Big time. You got the lightsaber right up the old chocolate whiz wang. Bellman says, yeah, they did mess it up. I just blame that on the traumatic, his syndrome. Yeah. God, that syndrome, the made up fucking syndrome that he had. And when he starts stroking out, man, I almost started laughing. I hate to say it. It just looked bad. And I'm like, so did someone tell you to do it that way? Because, and then the less said about Alison Pill's character, the better. Because that shit was just thrown in at the last minute, you could tell. They're like, yeah, we need a way to kill off this character, so we're going to put her in. I mean, her character is fucking worthless. Just absolutely worthless. And yeah. I don't know what to tell you. Other than it sucked, And like I said, Rafi was a good character. It was a decent character. And you know what? If you made her the captain of a ship rather than throwing Cristobal in there, or Han, whatever the fuck his name was, because he was boring. And then trying to make his backstory interesting of, his former captain killed himself because he couldn't deal with what he did. And it's like, because you're trying to tie it all into the story, and it's a little too coincidental. Yeah. How do they not bring Q into this and bring it all back to all good things? It could have been clever and a good send off for Picard, but no. I don't know how you could even do that, to tell you the truth. That would have been the last straw, I think, for me, Bellman, as if they had brought back Q into it, and I just would have thrown my hands up at that point and just gone, fuck this show, because it was just too heavy on bringing some beats back from the old series as it was, and instead of telling a new story. Yeah. There was just so many things wrong with it. So many things wrong. And yeah. I know there's people that love this series. Good for you on that one, that you love something, but it's badly written. I'm sorry. It's very badly written. Yeah. So, with that said, I should probably let you guys go for the night. Thank you for joining me for Is It Worth My Time? The Star Trek Picard edition. Again, remember, like, share, and subscribe before you take off there. If you're still on the fence about subscribing, take a look at the video that pops up at the very end here. If you like that, hit the subscribe button. Up here is going to be Future Man. And what is it? Bub's Revenge says, I mean, why bring Picard back only to hamstring him with some clunky brain disease plot device? 24th century and people still can't get lame brain disease? I know. Yeah. Bellman says, I thought it would have been a good start to have at least the Q continuum in Picard's end days. Couldn't agree more with the writing. Sorry for a late start. No, that's fine, Bellman. I mean, a lot of people come in late, Marks, and to the feed, so that's perfectly fine, Marks. You're welcome, Bubs. Somebody had to do it, and yeah, I know. Shocking that Dennis didn't think it was worth our time. And I'm being light on this one, to tell you the truth. I am being light on this one. If I went into full rant on mode, it would just be a really just big hate watch at this point. It really would. And I'm not going to do that. I'm just going to tell you, it's really not worth your time. It's not worth it to suffer through it. If you like good sci-fi, there's plenty of good sci-fi that's out there. I'm going to be covering Upload at some point here as one of the Is It Worth My Times. Probably the animated Ultron that's on Netflix as well. I'm trying to think what else is out there that I've watched and haven't commented on. So there's a few things out there. So Is It Worth My Time is back for a little while, Yeah. Yeah, exactly, more because I'm not going on to full rant. I can't. It'd probably make me burst a blood vessel in my eye or something like that. Yeah, I did. Yeah, again, Penn. Yeah, it was a good thing I waited as long as I did to review this, even though my review is all over the place as well. Yeah, yeah. If I had done it straight out the gate, it just would have been horrible. Is really what it would have been. So I'm gonna let you guys go. Thanks, everybody. Remember, like, share, and subscribe if you're still out there, and take a look at suspendedfanimation.com. That's got all my links and my schedule as well. So until Friday, don't let the door hit your ass on the way out. Otherwise, you may get saddled with some really fucking hacky writers who couldn't write their way out of a wet sack with a blowtorch chainsaw and the fucking 501st behind them. Thanks, everybody. I will see you on Friday. Have a good night and stay safe out there. Thanks, everyone.